Thinking, David? What about?
Honestly, I'm debating on a TTRPG game on this ship. We could all use some relaxation. Let's see, you, Dean Steeler, what ya, maybe Aelor? I can't imagine Starfinder would really be fun for y'all since you're already in a science fantasy setting.
Yeah, I guess. What other games would you like to run?
Cyberpunk Red might be fun, but same with Pathfinder 1st or 2nd edition. Of course, there's other options too. Horror? No. I wonder if I can find a game that takes place in the modern setting where you're just random-ass dudes.
I can take a look around the library, see if there's some ancient RPGs that pique your interest. What you was an Iron Warrior, so you know they like games.
Yeah, that's a good idea, but we'll have to figure that out in the future.
Where is Wetya anyway?
He's with Dean Steeler in the kitchen. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something there.
Huh, weird. Wetya tends to only eat slime. What does Dean Steeler eat?
I don't know, actually. Come to think of it. I always assumed he ate meat like most gene stealers would, but come to think of it, does he even have a mouth? Does he actually talk, or is he psychic?
That's genuinely a good question. We're never going to see an answer, are we?
No, not likely. On to the video! Now, what should I talk about? Oh, I know. I want to talk about giant-ass robots again.
Of course. To be honest, I like giant-ass robots too.
Yeah, I'm gonna do what I want, because I want to have fun, and for me, knights are fun. I want to look at each knight weapon combo, and look at what they might have done before the Horus Heresy, which was when the knights were really brought in as a widespread use, with the Mechanicum being very much involved. For this video, I'll be going down the list of the 40k app and talking about each Imperial Knight, naming their pattern and going into their weapons and what they may have been used for during the Age of Technology, when knights were construction and gathering rather than machines of war. Now, first we start out with the Armigers, kind of the War Dogs. There are 2 Armigers, arguably 3, but the Moirax design seems to have been a weapon outright. But the Helverin Armiger is the ranged option, while the Warglaive is the melee option, with a chainsaw and melta, obviously. The Helverin was likely designed to be a defensive weapon, and likely same with the Warglaive. Both use weapon combinations that couldn't really be seen as good for gathering, but may have been used for hunting, possibly? The Warglaive much less so, since the chainsaw melta can't really be used to hunt for food, but could be used to hunt the monsters that were in the history of some night worlds. Canis Rex is a special case as to what it is, so we can't really consider it. There's a chance this knight specifically was trained and the steed made in order to fight and nothing more. The Questoris Knight being made most common knights of the Horus Heresy era. Knight Castella, a Knight Dominus, was not used during the Horus Heresy, but given some of what the others were used, the Porphyrion, the Questoris, the Asterius, and others, it may have existed, just not in the Horus Heresy as a game. So the Castellan is primarily the gun and anti-vehicle option along with the Knight Valiant. But this one may have been used to blast mountains if it exists during the Dark Age of Technology, as all of their weapons, or rather primarily of their weapons, are blast weapons, so it makes sense. Could have been used to build up defensive locations or perhaps start quarries. In a similar vein, the Knight Crusader, a Questoris pattern, also used nothing but guns. The Gatling gun with a flamer, while the other option is either a thermal cannon, a melta weapon, or the rapid fire cannon, also known as the Two Thunders gun, with a heavy stubber. I feel this was likely used for mining and quarrying, the melta ripping through stone, while the chainsword, this has guns on top of guns, but the amount of guns on this makes me believe it was a defensive knight, meant to take out monsters of the old Knight worlds. Another option could be quarrying, blasting out stone and rocks to ready for construction, but I honestly doubt that. But what about the Knight Errant? These could have hands or swords, but always has a melta. The old version of this, before being combined with the other Questoris models, used to use only chainswords. I feel like this was likely used for mining and quarrying. The melta ripping through stone, while the chainsword may have been used for a digging tool. But I feel like the hand would have been a better option for the miner. Mining! I swear I know someone will take that out of context. Next up is the Questoris Knight Gallant. This was the melee knight, and with both melee weapons, I feel like this was definitely made as a lumberjack. It can grab a tree, chop a tree, and move for some construction capabilities as well. Honestly, this one is the easiest because its weapons are the most basic and most obvious in what they could be used for. Of course, this could theoretically be used for as a digging option as well, with many quarrying machines essentially being a saw scoop. The Questoris Knight Paladin uses the rapid fire battle cannon with a melee weapon. I feel this would most likely be used mostly as a monster killer weapon. Knight worlds tend to be in good condition during the Great Crusades, but before that point, they had to fight to survive. Obviously, quarrying is also an option, but it's not a great option, as big guns prefer to shoot flesh. The Knight Preceptor is the same as the Canis Rex, but with top guns. The las cannon is a great weapon which primarily is meant to get through defensive armor for buildings. The abilities also kind of point this out too. This whole thing around this knight specifically is essentially being a leader character. So this was likely originally used for warfare against both other knights and wildlife of the worlds. The Valiant, the second Dominus Knight, is literally just a tank killer. It can't be used for much anything else. It has a flamer and a hook shot. What you gonna do? And the Knight Warden is our last one, with a chain gun, flamer, originally with fingies. The abilities don't really give a good explanation for what it could have been used for. My best bet is that this was a counter to the Preceptor or the Paladin, as some knight houses may have found each other on one knight world and fighting with one another. I think that's a good explanation of everything. I could go into Forge World Knights, but they have more of a war built sort of design rather than anything else. Now, shove off.